Hi guys, this is Brooks, aka Scorb, and welcome back to another random ranked video on my channel. If you aren't familiar with this series, the playlist is linked in the description below, and the first video goes over the gist of this series and what we are doing in it. Today we are doing a Reg I random, and we are going to find our Pokemon very soon. But first, I would like to thank you for the support on the channel. I know these videos don't do as well as my Pokerug videos, but that's okay. I really have a lot of fun making these, and I love VGC and getting to use Pokemon that I've never used before in that setting. So without further ado, we are going to press random on Reg I on Pikalytics, and if this usage percent isn't 0, then we will do it again until we get one that's 0 and build a team around them. Let's get into it. Who are we gonna get? Oh no. Oh god. This might be even worse than the Knackle deck. Oh Jesus. Well, okay, we got Poliwhirl. We got Poliwhirl, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can do with Poliwhirl. Oh my god, Poliwhirl actually pops up in the Showdown Team Builder. That is crazy to me. Do they have this niche that I don't know about? I'm expecting it's a Swift Swim set. Yeah, it is. And it does have Focus Sash, so I imagine it's running Endeavor. It is. So I imagine this is to lower the speed of things across from you, Encore to be annoying, Protect to stall, and Endeavor to lower things to 1 HP for your friends to clean up the mess with. So that is what the basic set is. We're going to see if I find anything that I think is more interesting. I know we are definitely going to run Protect, Icy Wind, and Encore. We will see what we think about the Endeavor stuff later. Okay, we're back. I have looked through Poliwhirl's moves, and part of me really considered running Haze, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because if we are pairing it with Zacian-Crowned a lot, which makes sense because the rain from Kyogre will weaken fire-type moves against Zacian, I feel like maybe we don't want to ruin our attack boost that we get with Zacian. So I think Endeavor is the play with Focus Sash, in addition to this not being a fully evolved Pokemon, and it's not bulky enough to justify the Eviolite, so I do think that's the move. We are of course doing Swift Swim, and when it comes to spreads, we have this spread. I don't know what else it would be is the problem. We're going to go max speed, max defense, because I am worried about Rillaboom. I fear that a Grassy Glide and a Fake Out would be enough to destroy this thing. So I don't know what this will do to the calc there, but that's what we're going to run with 4 special attack. And we're going to run a plus speed minus attack nature. So we are running Timid. And that is our Poliwhirl set up. So now I'm going to set up the other Pokemon and run through them as we go. The first friend we have for our Poliwhirl is going to be, of course, Kyogre. Now, its Drizzle is really the backbone of this team. We are pretty much building a rain team considering Swift Swim is Poliwhirl's whole niche. And I'm going with a really old-fashioned Kyogre set, being one that is centered around Calm Mind Leftovers. Now, when I say old-fashioned, this is more so like Sword and Shield, but the idea behind a Calm Mind Kyogre set right now is if we can get something stuck with Encore or scared of an Endeavor, we can get some Protects going on, we can get some Encore Protects going on where they're going to struggle, and if they only have one Pokemon that's able to attack, yes, Kyogre is the target out of these two, but Calm Mind, we could at least get one off, and then this thing would be horrifying to fight versus. So let's see what else we can put around it. Our next Pokemon we have with this team is a Landorus Life Orb set, a Landorus? I'm going to workshop that, but we have a Life Orb Landorus set. This is the most typical set you've ever seen, carrying Sandsear Storm because it can't miss in the rain, and I think that will make him very interesting to use, especially considering it is a non-water type. We definitely need one of those, and we also really need a physical attacker. Let's get that taken care of. Our next Pokemon is a very typical Zacian set. Now, I have this on the team, and I'm looking at the rest of my team, and I am very worried about Calyrex Shadow Riders. So we're definitely going to add something to deal with that, but our Zacian is going to be a physical attacker, and it's especially going to be something that can deal with things that set up, for example, a Dondozo. Considering that we have Sacred Sword, which ignores stat changes, it also gets the attack boost from Rusted Sword, so it is going to be very helpful in dealing with things that give Kyogre some problems, such as Miraidon with Play Rough or things of that nature. Our next Pokemon is going to be this Imprisoned Farigiraf. Now, our team is not super speedy by any means, but I don't think we are slow enough to be able to deal with Trick Room effectively unless we have something that has Imprison. We also have this guy specifically for Foul Play and the fact that it pretty much walls any Calyrex Shadow Riders, and a Helping Hand plus anything Kyogre, Zacian, or Landorus for that matter can throw at it is gonna nuke something. So we have this Farigiraf as a big ol' support mon. And lastly, we have this Grimmsnarl. So this Grimmsnarl is another thing that's going to help our Kyogre get set up, because if we can get screens up, that is something that's really going to make this Kyogre super bulky and annoying to try to get off the field, as well as we have Spirit Break to lower special attack and Parting Shot to assist in surviving against things like Miraidon. I mean, this team doesn't like seeing Miraidon, I'll be honest, and it is very popular. However, Landorus is hopefully enough to deal with it. I'm also thinking Landorus for a Fairy Tera in case they try to Dragon move it, specifically to counter Miraidon. I've never really even seen a Landorus with Fairy Tera before, but we're gonna give it a shot, honestly. And this is the team. All that's left now is to copy it over to Showdown and figure out what Tera types we want to use. Last minute change, really quick. I think I'm going to switch Parting Shot to Thunder Wave purely because, again, looking at this team, another thing I realized that is kind of scary is Koraidon as well. Koraidon is, very fast, obviously, and we don't have like fighting resists other than Landorus, so I just thought it would be a good idea to add something just in case. Okay, I've decided on the Tera types. So our first Pokemon is going to be our Poliwhirl, who I made shiny for fun, and he is going to be Ghost Tera. So I'm specifically scared of a Fake Out interrupting this Focus Sash. I don't see this being a Pokemon that we Tera type very often because we would just have Farigiraf to switch. Like, we threaten a Farigiraf switch in, so why would they Fake Out a Poliwhirl of all things? But I have it there just in case. Then we have our Kyogre with Grass Tera. This is specifically to resist grass and electric moves, and because it's a bulky Calm Mind setup set, I figured we would want a defensive Tera instead of an offensive one. Then we have Fairy Landorus, like I mentioned earlier. I'm purely worried about Koraidon and Miraidon using some sort of crazy strong dragon move against it, and I just thought it would be smart to have Fairy just in case. Zacian, we have Fire Tera. This is pretty typical, I feel like. It doesn't get rid of our ground weakness, but crucially, it does make it so that we can't be burned. And I do not want this thing to get burned at any point. It would completely nuke this thing, especially considering we are not a Swords Dance set, and I do not want to take that risk. Then we have Farigiraf as Dark Tera. This is to get around things that are annoying to us and sort of boost up this Foul Play. It's mostly for Shadow Rider, I'll be honest. Then we have our Water Grimmsnarl. This is specifically to avoid getting swept by things that are like fire heavy teams. So I'm kind of scared of like Fire Tera Groudon and stuff like that. I feel like if we were water here, we could much more likely get more Spirit Breaks off against a Groudon, even though that wouldn't, lower the stat we want it to lower. It would mean that we can get some more chip damage off into something that scares the rest of our team. And that is our team. Now, we only have one thing left to do, which is decide a team name. And I usually base the team name around our star of the show, which is Poliwhirl, which is what I'm going to do this time. Now, I think our team name is going to be... Ooh, you want to kiss me so bad. If you know that meme, I'll probably put it up on the screen, but if you know that meme, you know that meme. I'm hypnotizing them into kissing me. So we win. Okay, we have found our first opponent, who's using Terapagos. I'm so happy to see that. My turtle boy. Okay, I'm going to wish them a good luck, have fun. They also have a not fully evolved Pokemon in Clefairy, however, they are much more common than Poliwhirl. So, this is going to be a weather war, and I have a feeling we're going to lose, because this Tornadus probably has something as well, and Terapagos has that ability when it tears to get rid of weather. I think Zacian is a must-bring here. I think... Is it lead-worthy? Honestly, maybe. It might be lead-worthy. I'm going to lead it. And Poliwhirl we are going to bring because he's the star of the show and it's the first game. However, I don't think he's going to be the lead. In fact, maybe he will be just to do some stupid stuff. I'm thinking Poliwhirl and Kyogre in the back. with the possibility to switch in Kyogre into the Zacian slot to get the Swift Swim boost and Encore something. And then I'm thinking that we really probably shouldn't bring Landorus in this game. And Farigiraf is okay as well, but I'm thinking we bring Grimmsnarl. This is a very support-heavy team. We really have our restricteds and 2 supports, but I like the idea of being able to Spirit Break the Terapagos, as well as it being super effective damage against Koraidon, even though we don't really care about the special attack drop. They really don't have a physical attacker on their team other than Koraidon, so if we can get that out of the way, we are all set. So they have Smeargle Terapagos as their lead. I'm expecting a Fake Out Calm Mind or Fake Out Earth Power into Zacian. If that is the case, what would our best move be? I think, honestly, a Double Protect might be worth doing. They definitely are running Fake Out on this team. The only thing that could go wrong, I would say, is if their Smeargle has, like, Decorate. That would be pretty scary. But I am going to Double Protect. They do Tera Terapagos. Let's see. We protect. They do Fake Out, okay. And I imagine... Oh, Flamethrower, okay. So that means our Kyogre switch-in is kind of free, which is really good to know. They are Moody Smeargle. That's honestly to be expected at this point. I don't think really anybody runs Technician anymore. And I think there is something to be said for encoring the Smeargle. We're going to be faster. This will force them to switch out if they don't switch out already. I like it. Let's do it. Okay, they're stuck doing Fake Out, which is great news for us. And they Tera Starstorm. That is a little bit scary. This is not what we wanted to see, but I do have good news. Now we can do something absolutely ridiculous. They are stuck doing Fake Out, which means they cannot Wide Guard. I'm thinking we Origin Pulse Endeavor Terapagos, which is so stupid. But I think it's worth seeing if it works, because if we can Endeavor it to, what is this, 15 HP, that would be a pretty crazy hit from Poliwhirl. Let's see what we can do. They do bring out the Sun, which is a very smart move. Bringing it down to 7. The Tera Starstorm. Please hit Origin Pulse, please. No, it misses. Oh, man. That is unfortunate. That would have maybe just straight up won us the game if we could have absolutely destroyed one of their restricteds, but that's okay. It happens. I'm thinking we bring out Grimmsnarl here, and I think there's got to be some value here in switching to Zacian and Thunder Waving Koraidon. I'm just so worried about how fast this thing is, and it seems that their Terapagos might be max speed, or at least definitely has some speed investment, which I wouldn't say is atypical, but... Oh, okay, they switched that. Okay, this could be a big play for us then. Okay, they do Protect, so they were just scouting, which is a good play. I think a Fire Tera is more than welcome here. I think a Fire Tera would be a fantastic idea. Plus a Behemoth Blade into Clefairy, maybe? And Reflect. I like that. Let's do that. They do follow me, so we were right to assume that we should target Clefairy. They close combat, which does a chunk, honestly. I'm thinking our best play here. Do Clefairies run Protect? I don't think so. They would run Follow Me, Life Dew, Moonblast. Oh, maybe they do run Protect, unless there's a move I'm forgetting. But I think we Protect Spirit Break Clefairy, because we don't want this thing on the field anymore. I'm tired of it. Go away. If this works, which it does not. Okay. Yeah, you know, fair enough. And wow, they read that. Great read by my opponent. Luckily, it does not do a ton of damage, but it does raise their speed, which makes a Thunder Wave even more important than it would have been. The problem is, though, is they now definitely outspeed our Zacian. It's not a question anymore. I think there's some value into bringing in Kyogre and Spirit Breaking Clefairy, getting rid of this Follow Me so that we can maybe Thunder Wave Koraidon. They do follow me. They close combat Kyogre, who lives. Massive stuff. And the Spirit Break does come out and take out Clefairy. So, that is good to see. I am a little bit scared of a Smeargle coming in and trying to fake out either one of these slots, but specifically Grimmsnarl, because we can't... Why wouldn't they? we're safe to Origin Pulse Thunder Wave? Oh, wait, no. Terapagos is faster than Kyogre. So what we should do instead is Thunder Wave. Wait, no, they have Protect. Would they Protect here? They're going to Protect one of them. If I'm them, I'm going to Protect Koraidon or switch Koraidon and attack with Terapagos. So I'm going to Protect Thunder Wave Terapagos. They Protect with neither. Okay. That is unfortunate, but we do hang on. This Grimmsnarl has been the GOAT so far, especially with this Reflect. And this pretty much leaves a clear path to Origin Pulse Thunder Wave. I don't think any of them get Wide Guard. And, okay, they Protect now. A little late for that, buddy. This gives us room to Origin Pulse. Please connect. Okay, thank you. That's the most overkill that's ever happened. You did not need to Origin Pulse a Terapagos with 7% health left, but that's all thanks to our Poliwhirl earlier, which is very funny. So, I'm expecting a Fake Out onto Grimm. Maybe a close combat on the Ogre? There's not a lot of counterplay to that, unfortunately. I think we Protect. And just in case. Or do we double attack? No, we don't. I think they're going to Fake Out Grimmsnarl, but if they don't, I think we could Spirit Break to get rid of it, because I don't think they're going to try to hit it with Koraidon and Smeargle. And we know Koraidon's going to attack this turn. They protected last turn. They do Fake Out Grimmsnarl. That was the right play. And they do double attack it. I imagine calling the switch there. Interesting choice. I don't think I would have done the same thing, but I can respect it. There's a good chance at this point that they have Wide Guard, which I am not keen to play around with. I'm thinking we Thunder Smeargle, Thunder Wave Koraidon. The only problem here is if they have Follow Me. I'm going to Origin Pulse Thunder Wave Koraidon. They do have Follow Me, so we made the right play there. I was very worried there. We do lose Kyogre, which is fine at this point. I think the people that are going to clean up here is going to be the Zacian. So really what we need to do is we need to either get this Koraidon down and away, or we need to Thunder Wave it. So are they going to Protect? No, they're going to Follow Me and do something. So I think we should double attack. I think we should... they most likely have Focus Sash. I think we lost this game, but I think obviously there's no reason to stop trying. And I think we should Thunder Wave Koraidon. Okay, yeah, Follow Me does go through the Paralysis, which will spell the end for us. And that is a good game. Well played. What I learned in this game was that if you just bring 2 support mon next to your restricted at the same time, you might be screwed when it comes to the end game, because things like this, I'm not going to be able to take anything out with this Grimmsnarl. I could probably get the Koraidon, but it's faster than me, so it doesn't matter. Now, of course, this team is very setup-oriented compared to most VGC teams nowadays. There's not a lot of get-going right-away type of stuff, but I think that in this specific case, Grimmsnarl and Poliwhirl cannot come at the same time. It either needs to be Farigiraf Poliwhirl, or Farigiraf Landorus, or Grimmsnarl Landorus. I just don't think Grimmsnarl plus Poliwhirl is a good mix. But that's enough yapping. I apologize for all that. Alright, we have found our second opponent, and it looks like it's going to be a Weather War, ladies and gentlemen. This was to be expected at some point, but not the kind of Weather War you would expect. They're running a Reg F team in Reg I, which is a choice. Certainly a choice. I'm going to wish them a good luck, have fun. But honestly, this is a Reg F team that could just roll us. So we will see. I think Landorus is crucial here. I don't think there's a single ounce of a world that we don't bring Landorus. I think Poliwhirl is equally important here with Kyogre. I actually think that Poliwhirl Landorus is a good lead. We can threaten to switch into Kyogre. And I think that... Zacian is also important. In fact, we should save our Tera for Zacian. That's what I think. Let's go for it. see. I'm very curious to see what they lead. Flutter Mane, Raging Bolt. Okay, not exactly what we wanted to see. I'm expecting maybe an Icy Wind Dragon Pulse onto Landorus. If that's the case, what can we even do against that? They are not boost energy on either. Ooh. The Fairy Tera could be really funny here. Because if they Dragon Pulse it. I think there's a world that we Icy Wind and switch to Kyogre immediately. They're obviously not going to Electric move this slot. So unless they have Discharge, which would be crazy. Like, actually crazy. This should be a safe switch. We Icy Wind. Take some damage there. We Moonblast. Okay, that does so much damage. And they Thunderbolt Poliwhirl. Okay, now we get to cook. So, we are going to Endeavor their Raging Bolt. And I imagine they're going to Thunderclap Kyogre. Do I switch back to Landorus? There's a world where that could make some sense. Yeah, I do. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's coming in. You're not going to like this very much. Endeavor, they go down to 1. They Dazzling Gleam. That does so much damage, but thankfully we are taking away their special attack boost by bringing in Kyogre. So, they cannot deal with an Origin Pulse right here. And they probably know that. I actually imagine that they're probably going to Protect or Switch. And then Moonblast Landorus. So I shouldn't Calm Mind. I'm going to Origin Pulse and switch in Zacian. I don't see a world where they could punish this. They don't really run Mystical Fire anymore, and even if they did, it's raining. I'm pretty confident in this switch. They do Protect. They do Dazzling Gleam. Okay, that is interesting. I was expecting a Moonblast, but it does a good chunk. We are going to... Is there a reason that we don't Origin Pulse again? I don't see one. Because they're going to be scared now, because our Zacian outspeeds their Fluttering Mane for sure. I think we Origin Pulse, and then we make absolutely certain that whatever comes into this slot, if it does switch, is going to take a beating. And I think our best way to do that is to play rough. We're hoping and praying that it's Raging Bolt that comes in. Okay, that's not horrible. Not the worst thing in the world. They Protect. They're not going to like a Play Rough plus Origin Pulse, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Not going to like it is the understatement of the year. I was actually expecting that they bring in their Torkoal, and for that reason, I think we actually really need to save Kyogre. I'm expecting a Thunderclap into Zash. But they've only shown me Fairy moves. They haven't shown us Protect. There's a good chance that this thing is Assault Vest, which would be a disaster. I'm going to Play Rough it. We hit. We kill. Let's go, Zacian. Very good move. Okay, they Trick Room, which does make this a little interesting. That's a really, really crazy set. I wonder if it's Min Speed. That would be so cool. But they have Trick Room. Huh. So interesting. So they're going to probably... I mean, they can't really touch Zacian right now, is the thing. I think there's a world where Sandsear Storm... Or do we Protect to slot Trick Room? They're probably going to, what, Flamethrower or Earth Power Zacian? We should probably Protect Zacian. See, this is tough. Will an Earth Power kill Zacian? Earth Power plus Moonblast. There's a chance. I'm going to switch in Kyogre and Protect Zacian. I'm going to make sure that they don't have Sun up for the rest of this game, is my idea. They Tera Fairy. They Overheat. Very curious. Maybe they don't have a ground move, which would be fantastic news. If that is the case, we are safe to Origin Pulse, and I think just take their Flutter Mane. They're hoping that this does enough to Zacian, and I just don't see a world where it does. A really interesting type of game that this could have been is encoring their Flutter Mane into Trick Room. That would have been really interesting. But yeah, I think we have this game pretty much wrapped up. They Overheat, which does not take Kyogre. We Origin Pulse, which takes both. So they're not min speed, but they're Trick Room. Very interesting. Maybe it's just specifically to support Raging Bolt and Torkoal. But anyway, good game to my opponent. That was a very fun one, for sure. And on to the next game. Alright, the next game comes up, and it is another Weather War. This is probably Sunny Day, Tornadus, and Groudon. This is probably the scariest team you could run into when using this team, other than maybe if they replaced Flutter Mane with Shadow Rider. Anyway, I'm going to wish them a good luck, have fun. I think Landorus is a must-bring here. The only thing that takes care of Landorus easily... Well, actually, Flutter Mane and Walking Wake take care of Landorus, which means that Zacian is just as important. I'm going to put Landorus in the back, because I think we need to save Landorus for the end game. And I think Zacian Poliwhirl could be a lead. Or is this the dreaded don't bring Poliwhirl game? It might be. I think it's Zacian Grimmsnarl plus Kyogre Landorus. They bring Boom, so it's actually a really good thing that we didn't lead with Poliwhirl at least. There is a world where they fake out. Although, why? There's not really a reason for them to fake out other than dealing a bunch of damage to Grimmsnarl early on. I think Behemoth Blade into Boom plus Light Screen is probably fine. Because it's not like this Tornadus is going to be able to deal a huge amount of damage into Zacian, unless... Does Tornadus get Weather Ball? I don't think so. Okay, they fake out. They Tailwind, and we get the Light Screen out. Okay, so they're going to be faster, which, you know, is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I imagine they are going to leave this Tornadus in to get a free switch in, and I'm actually not interested in taking it out right now. I actually think what would be more annoying is forcing them to switch it. I'm going to Behemoth Blade Boom, and then Thunder Wave Tornadus. Grassy Glide does a chunk to Grimmsnarl, but we paralyze their Tornadus. Behemoth Blade does so much, and they are paralyzed. So the interesting, and they are Leftovers Boom. I haven't seen that in a while. But the interesting thing here is they're going to have to deal with stupid paralysis stuff now. There's a good chance that they switch into something here. And that actually makes me interested in a... And it could be into either slot, honestly. The problem is that Heatran eats a Behemoth Blade for breakfast. And honestly, so does Walking Wake. So I'm going to Sacred Sword. And I'm going to Spirit Break into the Tornado slot. What a call by me. Wow, I can't believe that worked out. Okay, down to 9%. Equine Storm misses Zacian, which is pretty crucial just to dodge the speed, and then quits. Okay. You know, that's pretty fair. That call from me was pretty wild, so I don't blame them at all for quitting. I think we had this game in the bag, I'll be honest. I don't really see a way they were going to win this. We could Protect to stall the Tailwind and Spirit Break their Heatran to drop its special attack, not even to kill it. They would have to then Tailwind next turn, hope it's enough to outspeed Zacian. So we had that game in the bag, and I'm going to throw in one more bonus game for fun. And the last game of the day is versus a Sun team. So, you know, it was bound to happen, and I'm kind of glad that we get a game like this right now. So I'm going to wish them a good luck, have fun, and let's see what we're dealing with here. So they have Charizard, which is scary to me because I'm not super familiar with what it does in this format. They also have a Jumpluff that I imagine has Sleep Powder, which is never fun. It is crucial that we have the weather control at all times. I'm thinking we Poliwhirl. Oh my god, I just thought of so much of a better team name. Oh well, too late for that now. I'll show it at the end of the video, but we lead with Poliwhirl and maybe Frigoraph would be good into Lunala. We also could use Grimmsnarl for Koraidon, but we're bringing Poliwhirl. Much to think about. I'm gonna bring Poliwhirl, Zacian, Landorus, Kyogre. They lead Lunala and Incineroar. I'm expecting a Fake Out, probably onto Zacian, and maybe Trick Room even. If that is the case, then Poliwhirl needs to leave. That's a nightmare scenario for young Poliwhirl. I think we could switch into Landorus and Protect. Do we double switch? Do we consider double switching? Ooh, wait. I know. We Encore their Incineroar, predicting a Fake Out. And we switch to Ogre. That's the move. Don't Fake Out, Poliwhirl. Don't do it. Yes, okay. We do Encore them into Fake Out. They do Trick Room. We can now switch out or Protect. I think there's some value to both. Even honestly just staying in, assuming we're going to get hurt by Lunala and endeavoring whatever comes in. I actually really like that play a lot. And then I think we can Calm Mind pretty safely. Or should we just go for damage? They get Wide Guard, don't they? I'm gonna Calm Mind and Scout for Wide Guard. They for sure get Wide Guard because they were one of my favorite restricted SKUs in Shield and Shield. Switch to Koraidon. They Wide Guard. We Calm Mind and Endeavor. Okay. So they do have Wide Guard, which is not exactly what you want to see. You also don't really want to see the sun come out right now. Although it does make Poliwhirl slower. We could Protect Ogre, Encore Koraidon into whatever move it's going to try to blow up Kyogre with, and then I imagine Lunala is going to try to deal some damage. Let's go for that. They Fire Tera. They Wide Guard again. That actually makes me sad because that means we could have Encore for Wide Guard. They have 2 turns of Trick Room. I'm going to Protect, and I think I'm going to bring out Landorus. Close Combat's not going to do very much into Landorus, and it gives us another Protect to stall Trick Room. Do they Wide Guard again? They do. And they do Close Combat again, which does more than half! What? Okay, that's insane. I am going to... Oh, God. I'm going to Encore Lunala. Protect Landorus. They Protect. They do not Wide... Okay, but this is good, because this means they can't get Trick Room back up. So I was a little upset for a second, but this is good news. We can now Icy Wind switch to Ogre. Although we are going to have to eat whatever Koraidon throws at us. Or do I... That's it. I Encore Koraidon slot into Protect. And I switch an Ogre to get Poliwhirl to be faster. I am evil this game. My god, I am being evil. So they're going to have to switch. They don't have Wide Guard. We are faster with Poliwhirl, and we could even Tera Ogre to make sure they don't put us to sleep. And then, I'm going to be honest, that is definitely what we're going to do. I'm going to Icy Wind. They're probably going to bring in Lunala? In which case, there's a world where we just Thunder into Jumpluff. And that's the world we live in. That is the world we live in. We're taking out this Jumpluff. They keep Koraidon on the field. Interesting choice. We bypass Sleep Powder by Terraing, so I'm glad we did that. We get a crit, which is pretty important, because now Icy Wind will actually KO Jumpluff. We are going to Icy Wind, and I think we're going to switch. I'm expecting them to switch Koraidon, and what could deal with what they have the most? Kyogre's slower than Koraidon, so we would bypass the Intimidate. So I'm going to do that. They get Intimidate down, but it doesn't matter because we switch in our Zacian after them. They double switch, which is a really unfortunate scenario to have been put in. That just shows Poliwhirl, Swift Swim, Encore being disgusting. Now we're in a very similar way to how this game started. They do have minus speed on both. They're gonna fake out Zacian again. And we're gonna Encore Incineroar again. And they're gonna Trick Room. And we are going to Ogre. Is this the same way that I played turn 1? It's the same way I played turn 1. Oh, they learned though. They learned. Okay. So now that they're doing this though, they did make one crucial mistake, which is by not setting up Trick Room, we now have something to lock Lunala into Moonblast, which means that they cannot Wide Guard and they cannot Trick Room. We're gonna Encore Lunala and we're gonna switch in. Ooh. We're gonna Encore Lunala. Although, actually, wait, Wide Guard has priority. Oh god, I forgot about that. How did I forget about that? I'm gonna Endeavor whatever comes in here, and I'm going to Thunder Lunala. Okay, so we get an Endeavor offers Koraidon, which actually means I probably should have Thundered that slot. We do land the Thunder, which is big news. I need to win this Weather War badly. We also need Kyogre for Jumpluff. I'm going to protect, switch to Landorus. They're going to knock out Landorus, so we get a free switch into Zacian, who is faster than Koraidon. So as long as they don't go for Flame Charge, we are A-okay with this idea. They do bring in Incineroar, which doesn't matter. We protect. They Dragon Claw. Okay. So they're going to fake out again. We're going to Encore it again. Yeah. And then we're going to protect Landorus. At this point, this game is just shenanigans. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. Oh, they fake out Poliwhirl. Lame. Lame, lame. We still had speed it, though. I'm going to do it again. Actually, we're going to Endeavor Incineroar. Bring it down some. And we're going to Sandsear Storm. Get as much chip damage slash maybe even, yeah, we would kill this Incineroar, I think. Boom. Poliwhirl is so good. He quits. Oh man, that's so funny. That is the most turns I've ever seen with very minimal damage being done. Poliwhirl did so much of it. Oh man, that was a good one. That was a fun one. GG to my opponent. Poliwhirl did so much better than I thought they would do in this video, but I would not rate it very highly. We got some luck on our side. We got some people underestimating Poliwhirl. And we also got some luck in the sense that we did not really get punished for misplays as much as we could have. We got a lot of rage quits because of Poliwhirl, which is always so much fun. Oh my gosh, as an older sibling, rage baiting the other team is amazing. But like I said, I would not rate them very highly. They're a fun support option on rain teams. They are not reliable and they are not good. They don't deal damage at all. But yeah. Oh, and the name that I thought of for this team after or during that last game is Waterlution. If you know the song Waterlution, it's a very funny song. Poliwhirl is one of the stars in that song. But yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and subscribe and comment what Pokemon do you think I will get on the randomizer next. Also comment, do you want me to do a different regulation? I would love to do whatever regulation is on Showdown right now. I would also do some random battles for you guys and just yap if that's something you'd be interested in. For the people that are here for Pokerogue stuff, don't worry, you're going to get a lot more Pokerogue and a lot less of this unless this video blows up. And for the people that are here for this, don't worry, I am still going to do this. I did make a community post saying that I might not do this anymore, but I am still going to. This is just too fun to stop doing. I enjoy it too much. So I think that's it from me. So yeah, peace.